I'm Will Horowitz. You may know me from Ducks Eatery and Harry Unitas, or some of our one-hit wonders like the smoked watermelon ham, or the smoked goat neck, or the smoked eel. So we're here today at the MUNCHIES Test Kitchen, where we're going to be pissing off more of the world by making watermelon radishes into age-old classics like prosciutto. First, what we're going to do is we're going to cure it. And we're really going to do the exact same things that we would be doing to a lot of our meats and stuff, but we're going to do it with some veggies. We're going to take this watermelon radish and we're going to brine it and cure it for about 4 days. And in this case, we're going to be using some white vinegar, so it's almost going to be a little bit more like a pickle. We're going to start with this amount of white vinegar, and we're going to add in this amount of water. And we're going to keep it really simple. Some black peppercorn and some oregano, and just some kosher salt. Maybe a little bit of garlic and some shallot. Doesn't really matter how you get there. We just want the flavor of all this stuff. Skins, everything included. And we're literally going to give this a little whisk, and we're going to drop our watermelon radish. And the reason we're doing this is because radishes are great on their own, but what sometimes people forget when they're eating meat is how much lactic acid, or in this case acetic, and sourness they're eating. So next time you're eating a steak, try to notice the sourness. A lot of people bitch at me that my recipes take too long, and they're right. And these are types of things that, yeah, they might take like 4 or 5 days, but you know what? This is gonna keep for like 2 fucking years in your cabinet. And truthfully, that's the way it's really always been in the world. We're gonna let this guy sit in the fridge, and we're gonna come back to it. So our radishes have been curing for about 4 days or so, and they're right here. And we're gonna take these guys out, and the next step is we're gonna smoke them. And we're gonna smoke them kind of a little home smoker trick, just with a hotel pan and perforated rack on top. And again, the reason we're doing this, just like that saltiness and vinegar, is we're just really going for that kind of meaty flavor and texture that you would find almost in real cured meat. But truthfully, it's its own fucking thing. It's, you know, we don't expect like a smoked lox to taste like raw salmon. We don't expect smoked lox to taste like smoked ribs. It's a smoked radish. So we're gonna put these guys in here, and we're gonna smoke it for about 4 to 6 hours. And I brought along a little cheat with me. This is actually a smoke tube, and we love these things. We have actually these just regular wood pellets, and these are oak wood. And we're gonna light this guy up and get the MUNCHIES kitchen nice and smoky today. The trick with these guys is you want to let them burn for about a minute or so first. And as soon as that gets going, we're going to actually blow it out, and it's just going to continuously smoke. This guy will last probably about 3 hours before we have to refill it. So it's a good quick trick to doing at home. We'll rip off a little bit of tin foil, and we're going to kind of make a little spacer here. So once you feel like you got good enough cherry, put it right down there on the saddle. Give him a little hat. And what I might do is rip off a little bit more tin foil. And I'm just gonna put it loosely around. We still want, obviously, a little bit of air getting through there. And we're gonna let this guy sit for maybe about, let's say 5-6 hours right now. And we're gonna get real smoky and nice. This is really very normal for us, but for most people, this is definitely untraditional. And smoking watermelon or fruit is weird because it's new. But we use it the same way that we are smoking meats. We use it to make it really delicious. So our radishes have been smoking for about 6 hours now, and we're gonna get ready to take them out. So these are our smoked radishes, and you can see they've already started decreasing in size a little bit. So a lot of the same thing as meat. We're, you know, making it saltier, we're making it smoky, we're fermenting it, we're getting rid of a lot of that water activity, and that's gonna change the texture so much. We're gonna use this beautiful Excalibur dehydrator behind me. So we're gonna take these guys, and we're just going to slip them right in here. So about 140 Fahrenheit. And we're just gonna let this guy chill and do its thing, and we're gonna come back tomorrow. Have our radishes drying behind us, and Those have been going on for a full day, so we brushed our teeth, did our laundry, washed our hair, and we're back. And we're gonna start putting together our salad. So we're going to make a little brown butter vinaigrette, and we're just gonna do a melon and Persian cucumber salad to go with it. And we're gonna toast a couple hazelnuts, give them a quick 1-2, toast them real lightly, and we'll come back to them later on when we put our salad together. And we're gonna start making our brown butter vinaigrette, and we're just gonna slowly reduce this. So this is a little bit of raw honey, a little bit of Dijon, some sherry vinegar. We're gonna microplane just a little bit of lime and then get some juice in there. And next thing we're gonna do, just some regular olive oil. As this starts to brown, we're gonna take some of our fresh rosemary, stick this guy in there, and we're just gonna let this kind of take on some of the flavor a little bit. And that smells amazing right now. It's because you're smelling like a nuttiness to it and a richness to it. And it's a really fine line between nuttiness and burnt. And really what you're doing at the end of the day is you're slightly browning or caramelizing the milk fats inside of it. It's just about there, so we're starting to see a little bit of black in there. Now I'm just gonna take this off, and I'm just gonna let this sit and chill and do its thing and relax a little bit, and you're gonna see it's gonna even thicken up a little bit on us. We're gonna strain out our rosemary now. We've let it sit for a few minutes and get to room temperature, and we don't wanna get that rosemary in there. And if there are any little burnt pieces in there, this will kind of just keep them out. While that brown butter is cooling down, we're just gonna get some of our salad ingredients together. We got 2 melons. This looks like a honeydew, but it's actually a Crenshaw. Actually, it kind of looks almost like cantaloupe inside. And we're just going to get a few slices of this guy in here for it. Same thing with this cantaloupe. Take the seeds out, and we're just gonna slice everything nice and thin. And we're gonna take some of these Persian cucumbers. So we got our melons and our cucumbers together. Take a little bit more of our olive oil, and we're just gonna mix that in, and maybe just like a pinch of salt, a little bit of our mint to get a little bit of flavor. And we're gonna mix 2 of our limes in, just to give it that much more. And honestly, you'll pretty much never find me using a lime without zesting it first. Cool, we're gonna mix this a little bit. We're gonna let this sit back for a second and hang. And in the meantime, we're gonna check on our radish. So, wow, you can see already, these things are like a quarter of the size they started. We have a regular one somewhere around. This is our start, and so you can see how much smaller these guys have pretty much gone. So we started doing this actually before the watermelon ham and cantaloupe burger and all these other weird fucking concoctions we've been making. We started playing around with curing and smoking vegetables probably about 3-4 years ago. And about 2 years ago, we actually entered a meat charcuterie contest with a watermelon radish. Of course, we didn't call it that because they wouldn't have let us enter. We called it a smoked rougarou bresaola. And we ended up actually getting 2nd place in the competition. You know, that was kind of the start of it. And, well, we got a kick out of it. We're gonna slice one of these guys open. You can see why people thought this was pretty meaty looking. But again, you know, we're trying to hit those same points that like a lot of meat dishes will have. And you know, these are pretty good. They're still a little bit firmer than I'd like them to be, but they're pretty solid for sure. So let's slice them on the slicer because I'm way too lazy to do this. We have our radish prosciutto. We have our melon that's been curing with our cucumber. And we have our brown butter that's cooled down. So we're gonna put that all together. And we're just going to drizzle this guy in here ever so gently. We're gonna season it up a little bit. And you can see it's gonna thicken up just a little bit. We're gonna give it also a little bit of pepper. Forgot you're here. And we got a little bit of our mint, and we're just going to pick some dainty little pieces right off the top just to finish our dish when we're done. We're going to just plate it up over here first like this. Down just like here. We're gonna put some of these beautiful pieces of prosciutto on top. And we're just gonna put a little bit of this right over the top. And by a little, I mean half of it. Just a little bit of our mint. Don't forget about our toasted hazelnuts. We're just gonna finish with a little bit of this beautiful salt. And that's it. How to Impress Your Friends with a Really Cool Looking Salad by Will Horowitz. So this is our radish, prosciutto, and cucumber melon salad. It actually is really good. And we actually just wrote our book, Salt Smoked Thyme, with me and my sister. And we have this recipe and a bunch more, and a bunch of meat recipes in it. And for the recipe, click the link in the description below.